Throughout human history, there have been individuals whose lives and sacrifices have left an indelible mark. Among the most influential groups in religious and cultural history are the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. They were not only his companions in spreading the good news, but also faithful witnesses of truth, love, and sacrifice. Coming from humble backgrounds, they were called to become history changers. They left behind their families, jobs, and stable lives to follow Jesus, learn from him, and continue his mission even after he departed from this world. Their journey was far from easy. They faced persecution, torture, and even martyrdom for their faith. Yet, through their unwavering commitment, the gospel spread across the world, laying the foundation for Christianity as we know it today. The chosen ones, before beginning his ministry, Jesus chose 12 disciples to accompany him in teaching and spreading the good news. They were not renowned scholars or powerful officials, but ordinary individuals with simple lives. Yet, through his calling, they became extraordinary figures. Below is a list of the 12 apostles along with key details about their lives. Simon Peter, a fisherman who later became the leader of the apostles and is considered the foundation of the church. He was crucified upside down, believing himself unworthy to die in the same manner as Jesus. John, the brother of James, the only apostle who was not martyred but died of old age. He authored the Gospel of John and the book of Revelation. James, son of Zebedee, one of Jesus' closest disciples, he was the first apostle to be martyred, executed by the sword. Andrew, Peter's brother and also a fisherman. He was crucified on an X-shaped cross in Greece. Philip, one of Jesus' earliest disciples, he was crucified upside down in Asia Minor. Bartholomew Nathaniel, a devoted disciple, who was flayed alive and then beheaded for his faith. Thomas, initially doubted Jesus' resurrection, but later evangelized in India, where he was killed by a spear. Matthew, a former tax collector who later wrote the Gospel of Matthew. He was martyred for his faith. James, son of Alphaeus, a lesser-known apostle but a faithful servant. He was stoned and then beaten to death. Thaddeus Jude, son of James, martyred in Persia while spreading the gospel. Simon the Zealot, a former revolutionary who was later killed by being sawn in half. Judas Iscariot, the one who betrayed Jesus, later overcome with remorse, he took his own life. Their lives with Jesus, the 12 disciples left everything behind to follow Jesus. They witnessed miracles, listened to his authoritative teachings, and learned from him daily. They were not just students, but also friends and brothers, sharing in a sacred journey. During their time with Jesus, they witnessed many miracles, such as turning water into wine at the wedding in Cana, healing the sick, including the blind, lepers, and the paralyzed, raising the dead, as seen in the case of Lazarus, walking on water, demonstrating authority over nature, multiplying loaves and fish to feed thousands with just a few pieces of bread and fish. However, their journey was not only filled with miracles and glory. When Jesus was arrested, many of them were afraid and fled. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, while Judas betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver. Yet, after witnessing Jesus' resurrection, they regained their faith and were willing to sacrifice their lives to spread the gospel. From fearful men, they became courageous witnesses, traveling the world to preach about Jesus. Their heroic deaths, most of the apostles were martyred for their faith. None of them chose an easy path or sought to escape death. They endured suffering and execution for the gospel. Some of the punishments they endured include: Peter was crucified upside down. Andrew was crucified on an X-shaped cross. Thomas was killed by a spear in India. Bartholomew was flayed alive before being beheaded. Matthew was killed for his faith. Simon the Zealot was sawn in half. James was stoned and beaten to death. They did not merely die but endured some of the most horrific punishments. Yet, despite their suffering, they remained steadfast in their faith and continued to testify to the truth. Their legacy, the legacy of the 12 apostles, is not only in their martyrdom, but also in their role in spreading the gospel throughout the world. They laid the foundation for the Christian church. They left behind letters, gospels, and a monumental legacy that continues to impact billions of people today. The 12 apostles were not just companions of Jesus, but also warriors of faith. They transformed their master's teachings into action, willing to sacrifice their lives to plant the seeds of the gospel worldwide. Because of them, The light of Christianity has shone brightly, touching millions of hearts across generations. Their journey is not merely a historical account, but a call to each of us. They remind us that faith is not just words, but must be demonstrated through actions, loyalty, and courage. Though time has passed, the spirit of the apostles continues to live on in every believer, inspiring us to walk on the path of truth and love.